Good morning, good morning, good morning. It is 7:32. I know I supposed to have been on at 7:30, but technology was beating me up today. Technology was tearing me down. It was beating me up and down. It had like the circle of death that just stays in the middle and it rotates as if it is going to connect, but it wasn't connecting this morning for some weird reason. But we are here. What I want you to put inside the chat today is attitude. Good morning, Miss Selena. Welcome back. Where are you at today? Waco, Austin, Afghanistan. I don't know where you at today. Peace. Good morning, Dr. Jennings. Um, attitude. Put attitude in the chat. And I want you to answer this question after you put the word attitude inside the chat. Attitude, like what does your, here it go, right, right there. What does your attitude say about you? What does your attitude say about you? Waco, then Austin? Okay, I got you. What your attitude says about you is really up to you. Like, I'm gonna say that again. What your attitude says about you is up to you. Put that inside the chat. That's a new one. Bars. Uh what your attitude says about you is up to you. What your attitude says is up to you. All right. Now, I'm not really going to do a long intro because I want to get into this because my father sent me a link from Dr. Miles Monroe and it really blessed me. I haven't listened to all of it, but it blessed me this morning to begin to want to talk about attitude because I think we don't really view attitude as something that we can control. A lot of times our attitude is a reflection of what someone else had done, or our attitude is a reflection about our experience, but we don't shape it enough. Your attitude can be shaped. And we're going to get inside that vein today about attitude. So again, like always, I will give you appreciation. I will give you gratitude. I would say thank you. I would say I appreciate you. And I would say it because I mean it. I'm not saying it just because of the formality that I have or the intro that I have. I say it because I mean it, because a lot of times when there is a lack of appreciation, then the process of a disassociation takes place. Right? Have you ever been in a place to where you felt like you wasn't appreciated, so it was easy for you to disassociate yourself because there was no longer a connection of appreciation? So I will always show you appreciation because our connection and our connectivity is important to me. So again, if you don't get it nowhere else, just know you're going to get it here in the morning. All right? Too easy. All right. So for those that know the platform, you're going to get definitions. You're going to get inversions of definitions by way of color code of red over white or white over red. Let's go ahead and jump into it. And before we jump 2 feet, what I want you to do is take this live and share it. Once you go ahead and share it, put the word done, because there's plenty of people that got attitudes that don't really have conversations about attitudes. Like I can honestly say I haven't really had a lot of conversations about attitudes. Like maybe if we had more, we probably would have understood it a lot more. So go ahead and do the word, well, share it, and then go ahead and put the word done. All right, here we go. Your attitude. Your attitude, your attitude, your attitude. All right, the first definition of attitude that I want you to pay attention to. Again, this is an interactive platform, so the things that you see that resonate with you, go ahead and put it inside the chat, because there is a lot of people just like you. When you go to another live or go to another post, they read the comments and they get things from the comments. So the things that you blessed into the atmosphere, it allows other people to resonate with you, and they may be able to assume what you're saying and find power in it as well. So the first definition of attitude is a settled way of thinking or feeling about someone or something, typically one that is reflected in a person's behavior. How do y'all see that? A settled way of thinking or feeling about someone or something, typically one that is reflected in a person's behavior. The inversion that I want you to pay attention to in this, now for those that is listening on the podcast, when you ever want to come and see the inversions and what I'm communicating about, the red over white or the white over red, go ahead and go to our YouTube channel and subscribe to the YouTube channel. Then you're able to see it live on the replay, or you can show up in the morning and see it live for yourself. All right, bet. That was a quick plug. All right, so the inversion that I want you to pay attention to is white over red, which is a settled way of thinking, or ones. I had to put ones because I couldn't say one because grammatically it wouldn't have looked right. A settled way of thinking or one's reflected behavior. A settled way of thinking or one's reflected behavior. Like, what does your attitude reflect about you? Now, we're not going to talk about anybody else. This attitude is about you, because remember, the possessive word in today's title and conversation is your. That means you. Like, how do you possess your attitude? It is a settled way of thinking or one's reflected behavior. So what type of reflection does your attitude reflect about you? Like, what have you done about you that it reflects something different? Because your attitude is a self-reflective thing that people see. Sometimes it stays in the room even when you leave, right? So again, a settled way of thinking or one's reflected behavior. Like, what attitudes have your children adjusted to? Like, ooh, that can cut deep to somebody. Like, what reflections do your seeds have from the attitude that you have reflected in the room? Like, what are their reflections of you, of your attitude? If you that loud parent, that boisterous parent, that parent that always want to fight, and you trying to say, why Johnny always in school fighting? Maybe that is a reflected attitude or a reflected behavior that you have instilled inside of the home, but now it is a settled way of reflective behavior that you have created. Don't get upset at your son or your daughter if that is something that you have created into that space, that you've settled in that space. You're trying to wonder why your coworkers speak to you any type of way, or something is not happening in the office. So what is a settled way of thinking that is reflected in that space? Like, what is the culture of the conversations? What is the culture that has been settled in the room? Like, does it reflect of a positive behavior, or does it reflect of what is being torn down every day that you walk in that space? Because it may have possibly been settled, but we're going to shake it up a little bit. We're going to begin to develop unsettled attitudes, because that is where the process begins to change. Right? All right, bet. Let's go with the second definition. The second definition of attitude is a position of the body proper to implying an action or mental state. Now, what are we talking about here? When it talks about a position of the body proper to implying an action or mental state, have you ever seen someone that is dealing with something and their disposition reflects that? Like, you're looking at someone who has their head down and their chin tucked, or it looks like somebody stole their dog and they just got beat up all day, and they're coming to work and they're trying to smile, but the smile don't work because it is not reflective of what is inside of them. But or you may be that person that is smiling, but what is inside of you is so torn up and is so beat up Trust me, you can only smile for so long before that smile turns into a tear. Good morning, Miss Myrick. Because your body disposition is only going to reflect based on what is inside of you. Because the inversion on this is red over white, which is the position of implying a mental state. So what position are you in right now that is going to be a reflection of your mental state? Like, what's your attitude like? What is that attitude like that need to change? Because without that change, the development really begin to be a reflection in everything that you do. I don't care what you try to decide your attitude is going to be. If it is not a reflection of the true you that's on the inside of you, the reflection would be just as torn down as what is just as torn down as what you have buried so deep inside of you, because it is a position. Your attitude can change your position. even coming from a professional standpoint, your attitude can change your position. Like, you can get fired just because of your nasty attitude, just as well as you can get promoted because of your positive attitude. Because it says a position of implying a mental state. That's why it's so important where you see a lot of initiatives that's talking about mental health. It's really about a position. Like, what position are you in? Because your position is your mental stability. Your attitude is a reflection of your mental stability. Your mental state of mind is what is a reflection of the attitude, or is a reflection of the things that you know that you need to change. So again, a position of implying a mental state. And the next definition that I want you to pay attention to, like, I had no inversion on this. I couldn't, because this definition hit on all angles. Everything about this definition made sense because there was no focus, because I didn't want to change the focus. I wanted to enhance the definition in its purest form. So the definition of attitude says individuality and self-confidence as manifested by behavior or appearance. Like style. Like, what's your style? Like, what attitude have altered your style? Why? I'm gonna ask it this way. Why have your attitude alter your style? Like, what about you that have changed you? What about your attitude that has changed you? That individuality and self-confidence. Your self-confidence is manifested by the behavior and the appearance based on the root grounded foundation of your attitude. I mean, I just got it from the definition. Everything I just said just came from this definition. Ooh. Your attitude defines you. It just came from this definition. Your attitude defines you. Like, when you see things and you say things and people see you, because remember, it says in the definition that your attitude is what? It is a reflection. It is the reflected behavior. Now let's get ready to go into this deep dive. I think today's deep dive is probably one of my deeper deep dives. You ready? Put deep dive if you're ready. Because I think when we understand that our attitude is a development, I think that we will have a much stronger way in how we develop our attitudes. All right, let's go. So I was walking around the track this morning. Uh, Joyce and we were talking, and she said something that kind of stuck, and it kind of aligned itself with today because I was like, "Ooh, I'm gonna use that." She was like, "What are you talking about?" So your inability to communicate to you, your inability to communicate your attitude to you, it enhances your perception of you. Like, what do you say to you? Don't you know that your attitude is a self corrective? It takes self corrective measures to change your attitude. So, your inability to communicate to you enhances your perception of you. I'm going to say that again. Your inability to communicate to you enhances your perception of you. So if you steal that, give me credit, tag me or something. Because again, your inability to communicate to you enhances your perception of you. Like, it's okay to talk to you. Sometimes that's what you need, because your attitude is a series of beliefs, right? It's a series of beliefs or a series of belief systems that govern you. It governs your character, it governs your reactions, your responses, as well as it governs your direction, because your attitude is developmental as well as it is temperamental. Your attitude is developmental just as much as it is temperamental, because your attitude also has the power to breed confidence just as well as it has the power to shake or shape your composure. You're trying to wonder why things are happening the way it happens, and you still got that same nasty attitude as you had last year, but you're trying to coming into 2023 and you still shaking up. You still bothered by things. Check your attitude. Your attitude tells you. It's like your attitude can tell you to hold on when everybody else is giving up. Because remember, it's your beliefs. Your attitude is your set of beliefs. Like, your attitude can exude a level mindset that the insecure mind will mistaken it for arrogance. Like, have you ever seen somebody that just has that as what they call swag or that style, and they exude that level mindset of confidence? Like, oh, everybody else is looking all crazy and everything is happening around them. You got that one person that has that level of confidence. They're like, okay, that's cool. I don't need to run around like you and get all upset. Let's think about this. Let's take it and let's do it this way. Like, oh, you so no, I'm not arrogant. I have a leveled mindset of confidence. What happens is your confidence is really a product of your beliefs. And because of confidence, your confidence is a product of your beliefs. Like, what do you believe about you? The way you think about yourself will alter your attitude, the way that you see yourself. Because the way you see yourself will give you no other option but to change your attitude. Like, what do you see about you that you need to change? What do you say about you that you need to change? Because your attitude is kind of like a compound interest. It has a compound interest. And a compound interest of your attitude is your altitude and your aptitude. That is the compound interest of your attitude. Because I want to tell you that your new level may be waiting for your attitude to change. You got people say, "Oh, I want to level up." Like, no, you don't. You don't want to level up because you still have the same belief system. You still have the same process of thought. You still have the same attitude that you had when you was broke. So how can you have a new way of finances, but your broke mentality and your broke attitude is going to keep you broken? Because think about this. If I'm going to go somewhere, my attitude has to match where I'm about to go, right? Because if I want to lose 15 pounds and be 15 pounds lighter, I must change my attitude about how I'm going to get there before I ever even get there. Because if I don't change my attitude about the workout or change my attitude about uh my systems of eating, it's going to be counterproductive to my goal. So if I'm ever going to get to where I'm going, my attitude has to have an adjustment before I even get to that place. Because you have to make a mandate with your attitude. Like you have to give it an official order that you will command it to change. Like, have you ever been, I'm sure you have, it's not just me. Have you ever felt the type of way where you told yourself not today? Like, fix yourself before you get out this car. Fix your face. Or you in the bathroom, like, nah, fix your face. Fix it. Like, you're commanding yourself to fix it. Like, before I leave this room, I need to fix how I feel about me. I need to identify what needs to be fixed and I need to change it. I need to alter it. Because at that moment, you made a mandate with your attitude. You gave you the authority to alter the outcome because you knew that if you did not change your attitude, that you would never reach that particular altitude. Like, what does your attitude say about you when you're no longer in the room? Like, for real, what does your attitude say about you when you're no longer in the room? Because it is a reflection, right? Remember, it said, "Is it a it is a reflected behavior." And because it is a reflected behavior, it is only a reflection of what is inside of you. And I just wanted to touch that. And I just wanted to ensure that you understand that your attitude is yours. But what are you going to do with it? How are you going to process it? How are you going to develop it? Because if you don't develop your attitude, it is going to be one of the most detrimental things that you can ever not do. Right? If you do not develop your attitude will be at your own detriment. It will tear down homes, it will tear down jobs, it will tear down relationships, it will tear down communities, all because of an attitude. So what does your attitude say about you when you're no longer in the room? Chew on that one for the rest of the day. All right. All right. What? You missed the podcast during my walks. I walk too early now. It's too dark. I'm walking at 5:30. It's too dark in the mornings. Um, but yeah, I definitely appreciate everybody for being here. And attitude. Attitude is a compound interest of your altitude and your aptitude. It's Mr. R2 here at Consistency is Currency, your morning podcast of choice. Y'all be blessed. Peace.